All right, Sean, we're back on Desert Oasis. And like I was saying before at the end of last match, we did see that really, really unique build from Cauthon going straight Banshee without dropping a first supply depot. I still can't even believe that it was without one supply depot. So do you think we're going to see maybe the same cheese from Cauthon, or was that just kind of a one-time win, one-time only type deal?
I would be delighted if he did it again, just so that we can fully appreciate it. It's like a fine wine. You just want to swish a strategy around in your mouth a little bit before you swallow it and it's gone forever. If he did that again, that would be awesome. But it's one of those things where Artosis might be anticipating it at the very least, because again, he and Idra are like little nerd butt buddies. But on this map in particular, I think it's possible for him to do it just because of the outrageously long distances between bases. And already we haven't even seen... Okay, there is, in fact, the 10th SCV being built, and it looks like he's rallying right to the tip of his base. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some sort of 10 barracks, but no, he's going for 10 supply. How depressingly standard.
Now, why is he actually... Do you think he's building a supply depot up there and possibly get a wall off with a factory barracks there at the ramp so Artosis can't really baneley break him? Or why do you think we see that supply depot all the way up there?
There's two reasons. One is just to get a little bit of an initial spotter. As you can see, if you look at the supply depot there, it gets a little bit of vision range of something that might be attacking. But the one possible advantage is if you just go to the Artosis cam, he might just barely miss that supply depot and think something's crazy is up. Because, people always like to hide their buildings when they're doing something nutty. Oh, no, it looks like Artosis is easily going to spot it because, that supply depot is right where a lot of barracks go down for, 9 racks Reaper harass. But, a lot of people love hiding their buildings if they're doing something nutty or kooky, like rushing for Banshees. But sometimes what's really useful is to hide your buildings when you're doing something incredibly standard because they don't see those buildings and then they freak out. Already Artosis is super aware of cheese. Look at this Overlord at the north. Look at him just rally to anywhere where there might be a hidden barracks up north.
Now, we do see Artosis pretty much going the same thing that we've seen. Actually, we do see the Extractor down a little bit earlier. He's usually getting that fast expand. Looks like he is going to be possibly getting that. Maybe not. He is spawning a little bit more drones. I thought he was letting his minerals build up to get that expansion down. But maybe since that expansion is so much harder to defend there as it's open from both the top lane and the bottom lane from Terran player.
Yeah. What's weird on this map is that even though you're so far away, it's so hard to defend the expansion. It's just right out in the middle of nowhere. And what Artosis is doing right now actually overwhelmingly dislike the fact that he's going one base roaches. Roaches are slow as it is until you get lair. I hope that he's just getting roaches to deal temporarily with this Reaper harass, and then he's doing something else like going for a really fast lair. Because I actually had a talk with him a little while ago about, on this map, rushing for the lair as Zerg, getting the Spire up, which kind of botches up the Terran's tech tree, and then taking the expansion. But it looks like there's the lair going up. It looks like he's only trying to get roaches up to deal with that Reaper harassment, which makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. But man, whatever you do, do not try to go one base roach on this map.
Now, a question that I have is, why would Cauthon send that all the way around when he could simply just send it straight up to the north of his base and make a little bit faster of a travel period for that Reaper to get to Artosis' base? Is there any... he did stop at that Zelnaga, so was he possibly just trying to get a little bit more extra information, or...
Yeah, maybe it's that. Really, I think it's inexcusable. You really should be just taking that ultra-fast rush distance. Looks like he's just parking it at the expansion, just wants to manage that. Oh, and it looks like Artosis, I sincerely hope, is doing the build that I discussed with him, because that would just make me feel cool. He's building roaches, making sure he doesn't lose to any Reaper harass, but my god, is that a lot of roaches going down. That is way more roaches than he needs early on. At most, he needs 3, and you can get away with 2. You just need to have better management with your roaches, because, look at that. 6 roaches up already? That's just way too excessive. And, down here in Cauthon Luck space, he, too, is also playing a little bit weirdly defensively, just getting these barracks up. It looks like he is expanding as well, so this, of course, makes a little bit more sense to me. Oh, Reaper's jumping in the back of Artosis' base, but they get repelled by these roaches, so no big deal.
Now, I don't know if Cauthon is just plopping buildings down wherever he wants, but why would he throw that command center down right there instead of right on the mineral? Is it possibly because he's waiting for that Overlord to or for that Overlord to die from these two Marines that he's spawning, so that Artosis doesn't know that he's quick expanding, or is he just simply enjoys making his buildings fly and then dropping them back over onto the natural expansion?
It almost reminds me of the famous Brood War player Android from Russia, who used to build his command centers one square away from where it was optimal at his expos, and no one ever knew why. But he would always do it. Man. Yeah, I know. Seriously. But, this sort of thing, building the command center all the way down there, again, it's hiding standardness, You hide what you're going to do anyways, and it will freak the opponent out a lot of time. Now, one thing that makes me very concerned is the fact that it doesn't look like Cauthon Luck has seen the Spire tech. I mean, if you just select Cauthon Luck and hold the V button and you just glance up at Artosis' base, you will see that there is a Spire building, but Cauthon Luck is unable to see it. He is getting this starport out very quickly, and it looks like he's making, he got a tech lab, but he's making Marines out of it? That's odd. Doesn't really look like there's any anti-air anywhere. This engineering base going down, and it really needs to get up quickly, or else he just might lose straight up to Mutalisks.
Yeah, we do see that factory attaching a reactor to it with the starport right below it, so we might see a little switcheroo there from those two buildings, and he's possibly going to be spawning Vikings out of that, but he also might be doing medevacs. We do see that first missile turret now going down right above the orbital or the command center of Cauthon Luck. He needs to place one behind. There's the other one behind. I actually didn't see it. He does swap out that factory and that starport. He's going to be building Vikings as well. Those Mutalisks are, however, coming straight towards his base. There's 4 Mutalisks now. It looks like that one missile turret, 2 missile turrets are going to finish. 3 missile turrets now are done. It looks like his his main is actually pretty well defended there, as we see Artosis kind of peek in and get hit by that missile turret. Now he's kind of flying around. He might actually take out that supply depot that Cauthon built really early on, really far north, but it looks like he's going to opt out of that and possibly go for these unit-producing structures. He is going to take down that barracks, maybe actually just take a little bit of pot shots. Now I'm just really confused as to what Artosis is doing. It looks like he's just taking shots where he can. We do see that Viking out now, 2 Vikings out. And I think Artosis is going to have to retreat as Vikings pretty much absolutely demolish those Mutalisks.
And if we go back to Artosis' base, he's just massing up roaches. He really does not have that many drones. He only has 23 drones, which at this stage in the game for a Zerg who's had Queen up that long is very, very, very unusual. I mean, Artosis has been busy making sure that every single inch of his main has creep on it, so, that's great. It gives him mobility. But these Mutalisks, they're picking off some Reapers. They're doing some damage, but not an extraordinary amount. I'm actually a little bit surprised at how few Mutalisks Artosis made. It looks like, he just made a half-assed attempt at it and then backed off. And what's funny is that Cauthon Luck is making all of these Vikings, so that way he can really crush this supposedly giant force of Mutalisks. But what's going to happen is he's going to kill off Mutalisks immediately, and then go around the map and kill off every single one of Artosis' overlords. And I mean, if you look, Artosis doesn't have speed yet, so it's a tough spot for Artosis right now.
And we do see that Hydralisk about 60% done, so if Cauthon was to send those Vikings right now, I think it would be a really, really well-timed attack, but it looks like he's going to wait for maybe a couple more coming out of that starport. He's got 2 queued up right now, they're both at 50%. We do see Artosis throwing down 2 evolution chambers. Looks like he's going to be upgrading those ranged units, both armor and damage. Now, Artosis is going to be going for an attack here as he sends a huge massive roaches across the map with 4 supporting mutas. Actually, he's turning those mutas back. Not really sure what Artosis is going to plan to do here. We do not see that big of a force from Cauthon, though, so we might see Artosis possibly do a really strong push right here.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, I just can't imagine Artosis winning in this situation. I mean, there's so many Vikings. The Vikings can land on the ground. It looks like he sees all these forces. The Marauders are going to come up from behind. So it looks like it's going to be all these SCVs in the front and all these Marauders and Vikings behind. And this is going to be way difficult for Artosis to be able to do anything with. Look at Artosis trying to micro around, but there's just so much stuff. This is such a big blunder by Artosis to have even thought about bringing these roaches. Look at this, all the way on the other side of the map, and now the Vikings lift back up in the air. And they're going to be able to do some harassment and might even just pretty much end Artosis' hope of even being able to make units. He's going to be so far in red supply if Cauthon Luck even moves those Vikings towards his base.
Yeah, I wish I could just... I want to type so bad to Cauthon right now to move those Vikings, because Artosis is still spawning roaches out of his main expansion, or his main base, not expansion, and he's not spawning anything out of that natural expansion. We do still, however, see those 4 Mutalisks just kind of like I guess they're just going for a little peruse around the map here. He's going to go for that Zelnaga Watchtower. Actually, he's not going to grab it at all. He's just going to wave towards it. Maybe he just sent him over there to see if Cauthon Luck is doing any sort of a push. Actually, there we go. Now we see Artosis take command of those Mutalisk again. Possibly a little bit of harassment going to be coming for this natural expansion. We do see that huge group of Vikings actually going towards Artosis' base. I'm not exactly sure where he actually sent that rally, but we do see those 4 Mutalisks coming in now. They're going to get a couple Marauders here. Looks like that Marauder's kind of just saying, screw you. He actually stops. Maybe he's going to try to help. Oh, now we do see those Vikings come back. Just demolishing those Mutalisks. Oh, man. That Marauder was pissed, and he just yelled at those Vikings to take him out. That one lone Mutalisk with 2 kills is just running for his life right now. Actually, he's just going to sit over that expansion. He's not going to run at all. We do see that huge force from Cauthon, though, just south of the main base of Artosis. We might see a huge push from Cauthon Luck right here.
Yeah, I'm blown away that Artosis even thought about using the Mutalist. And look, there's the Mutalist trying to get home to tell his lone story, but just gets evaporated. I have no idea actually why Cauthon Luck is doing this big of a counter push. He should just make use of his Vikings. I like that he's stopped moving around with all of his Marauders and is instead harassing. And look, there's one queen there. He can just land and take this queen out. And oh, look at the right side of the map. It looks like Cauthon Luck is getting caught with his pants down. All those roaches are just rushing in there to take them out. But in the main, Cauthon Luck lands the Vikings and is just ripping Artosis apart. Cauthon Luck might be the ruiner of the friendship duo Idra and Artosis.
Yeah, those Vikings did a ton of damage right there, knocking out I don't even know, probably like 6 or 7 Overlords, easily putting Artosis at the undersupply. He's now sitting at 49 of 36, so he is going to be spawning a ton of Overlords soon. He is throwing down a couple Spine Crawlers at the natural expansion, and now Cauthon Luck kind of just like backed off. He said, I did what I came to do. I took out all your Overlords. Now I'm just going to get a bigger force, throw down more expansions. And actually, this is one thing that you actually talk about a lot on your Day9 dailies is when you're ahead, just sit back and know that you're ahead and don't try to push it because you never really know what your opponent is going to be doing once you get to his base.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's part of the reason why, like, a minute ago, I was going, why on earth is Cauthon Luck counterattacking right now, you know? He should just happily do harassment with his Vikings and not be so aggressive with his Marauders. But what it turned out Cauthon Luck had planned was just to come to this edge and then back all the way off. And by moving that far forward with the Marauders and then not attacking, Artosis had that much time to freak out and say, oh my god, there's all these Marauders coming, I better make some units. At which point, Cauthon Luck just happily walked away, and it looks like he's expanding over here to the right. We have we have Planetary Fortress actually going down at the right, a bunch of barracks being added on in the main, and look at these Vikings by Cauthon Luck just happily patrolling around the map, and a juicy Overlord up at the top left. That's going to put Artosis, looks like, back down to being supply blocked again.
Man, he is really, really hurting right now on supply. He's actually really hurting in his economy as well, as he only has a couple. Well, it looks like they're pretty saturated now at the natural expansion. But we do see Cauthon Luck dropping those Vikings down in the main of Artosis. We do see now all those roaches swarming in. He's going to easily lift those off and just fly away after easily taking out all those drones. Well, a lot of drones, not all of them, actually. We do see those double evolution chambers just doing nothing because of how hurt Artosis' economy is. And going back over to Cauthon Luck, it's pretty much a 180. He's just thriving right now with the economy. His resources are just flowing in. He's now got 4 barracks up, or 5 barracks up, actually. We do see 6 barracks up. I didn't even see that extra one at the natural expansion. He's got 2 starports.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like he's just kind of living the life right now with the Terran there.
Yeah, a real in-game baller we see right now. I mean, this is the sort of match that you want to have if you are in a best of 7, because this is so psychologically damaging for your mental state for the remainder of the series. Because what's happening, you're playing on this enormous map. Cauthon Luck really is not going to be going for the kill anytime soon. I mean, there's no reason to invest in that right now. But instead, what's happening to Artosis, he's desperately trying to build up enough forces to hold off some attack that really isn't going to be coming anytime soon. He's getting constantly supply blocked. Look, there's another Overlord going down. Yeah, and look, he's coming in here. He's going to land probably. No, he sees the Hydras and he's going to back off. I mean, even if he loses some Vikings, no big deal. He's just going to continue to fly around, try to take out as many Overlords as he can. And I mean, Artosis is just scrambling to build more Overlords, to build more drones. He's running low on money now. He made way more Spine Crawlers at his expansion than he needed to. And meanwhile, Cauthon Luck is getting close to max, adding on yet another engineering bay. So that way he can upgrade everything that he needs to. And we see Artosis getting ready to move down the right side of the map. Super surprised Cauthon Luck doesn't have a spotter at that Zelnaga watchtower. Big blunder. But that planetary fortress is hopefully going to buy enough time for Cauthon Luck to be able to hold off this attack and bring in his reinforcements.
Now, do you think Artosis might be doing kind of an all-in push right here as he knows he's been hurt by supply and economy all game long?
Absolutely. Look here. It's running in, darting forward with all his roaches. There go the SCVs, but that's just way too much damage. Look at that, falling almost immediately. Cauthon Luck bringing back everything. But look at this. He's moving forward with all his Marauders from behind, and it looks like he's going to try to land his Vikings to try to trap all of them. And look at these roaches just evaporating, and the Vikings are picking off the Hydralisks in the back. Look at that army, or should I say that lack of army for Artosis. I mean, Cauthon Luck demolished that. Look, Cauthon Luck, 132 food, Artosis, 77 food. Cauthon Luck, happily marching an SCV over there to re-expand, and Cauthon Luck now has way more barracks than he knows what to do with. But, I mean, there is going to be no way that Cauthon Luck can possibly lose with this last push. I mean, maybe with these spine crawlers getting in a good position and a good angle flank with these Hydralisks, but I mean, still, Artosis is just in the worst of spots. Oh, look, he might even circumvent it with just a medevac drop.
Yeah, we do see Artosis now kind of getting ready for that fight. It does only have Hydralisk, but it looks like there's a nice choke there for the Zerg player. He's able to build a little bit more of a bigger concave, but it looks like there's just too many forces for Artosis to handle there. As those Marauders are just doing work on those Hydralisks. They're now going to start doing work on the spine crawlers. It is a little bit evenly forced right here, or even forces here. We do see a couple, I guess, a little bit more Marauders than Hydralisks, though. Now only 4 Hydralisks remaining. We see those medevacs out of energy, just kind of scouting out the place. They're going to take a little bit of extra pot shots from those Hydralisks, but it looks like we will see a GG here from Artosis relatively soon. There's just too many of the Terran forces inside of his natural expansion right now. His only expansion right now, where he's not going to be getting any minerals anymore.
Yeah, wow. Expo goes down. Those broodlings pop out to do a little bit of damage. Look, Artosis bringing all of his drones. But, I mean, just the ever so slightest bit of micro is going to do absolute wonders against that. I mean, so no chance in hell that Artosis is going to be able to save this. And good game. Cauthon Luck is currently up 2-1. Looks like we're having somewhat of a repeat of last week where Cauthon Luck loses the first game and then ends up just winning all the rest of them until he ends up with a shutout. I mean, one thing to note, though, is that after that game, because we're doing a best of 7, Artosis does have a little bit of breathing room. It's not like it was, with Idra last week, where this was the deciding match. So I really look forward to see what Cauthon Luck has planned for the next map on Kulas Ravine.
Now, looking back at that matchup really quickly, do you think that all-in was kind of the best possible thing that Artosis could have done there? Or could he have just kind of turtled out a little bit longer, as it didn't look like Cauthon was pushing too much there? He was just getting harassed really, really badly from those Vikings. So was that all-in push kind of the best possible situation for Artosis?
Yeah, dude, that guy was dead. I mean, a lot of times, sometimes you get in these situations and you think, okay, what's the best way to get out of it? And the real answer is to not be in that position in the first place. Like, Artosis' early attack with those 20 or so roaches, I have zero justification for that. You have one base with a limited economy, and then you take everything you have and walk the longest possible path that anyone has created in StarCraft 2 into a bunch of Marauders. So, I mean, I can understand, the motivations behind that. Supposing that, I haven't really done this build that much. Whatever. I don't like Desert Oasis as a map. Let me just try to win easily. But I mean, still, I think it's really important to just take a brief breather, recollect yourself, and make sure you're not overreacting, especially on one of those huge maps like Desert Oasis.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be right back with our 4th map here with Cauthon Luck up 2-1 over Artosis in Week 6 of the MLG Showcase Series.